hopefully you can all see me clearly and hear me clearly. Again, if you are having any technical issues, you can't quite see me, you can't hear me, just write me an email and I'll make sure to sort that out for you for the next live class. But we'll get started right now as we are. So hopefully you've set up a chair for yourself, and if not, maybe for you, you're comfortable sitting on the floor to start, that's okay too. But we'll start class together in the chair. So planting your feet on the floor, make sure your feet are able to sit flat. And for most of us, this will require us to sit a little bit forward in your chair, depending on your chair. If your feet don't quite touch the floor, it might feel nice to put a book, or if you have some blocks underneath your feet, just make sure your feet are on a firm surface. And your hands can rest comfortably in your lap. Let your shoulders settle a little bit away from your ears. And if you're comfortable in closing your eyes, you can close your eyes. And if you'd prefer to keep your eyes open, you're more than welcome to do that. But I'll ask that you actually just let your eyes soften then just a little bit. So you're not really focusing on anything in particular. The eyes closed, and if the eyes are closed, then the eyelids are heavy. And if the eyes are open, then wherever your gaze falls, the gaze is soft. And let's open our practice together, simply feeling our breath. You may have had opportunity to do this already today, or you may not have. It's very beneficial for our minds, our bodies, our nervous system, and our state of emotion to take moments throughout our day to simply feel ourselves breathe. To not do anything or try to change the breath in any way, but to just observe how air is moving in and out of your body. So we start our practice together today, feeling our breath, feeling air coming in and out of the nose. You might notice that air travels in one nostril more than the other. You might notice how the temperature of the air changes as it's being drawn in to when it's being exhaled. Try as best you can to not affect your breathing too much here, but to simply watch your breath. Notice it without changing it at all. With the freedom of the breath to move as it wishes, you can now start to scan the body, bringing your attention to the top of the head and guiding your awareness down your body, noticing as you go any places that feel a little tight, maybe lifted or pulled in. And as you pass these places with your awareness, can you let them soften even just a little bit? So for many of us, as we start at the top of the head, you can notice your forehead and your eyebrows. Can you soften that place? Or maybe anywhere along the face. Can the face soften? The jaw? Can you release some tension from your throat or from your shoulders? Letting go of tension around the chest and around the back. Feeling the arms grow a little heavier. As you release tension from the hips, the legs too might get a little heavier. You might feel the weight of your feet on the floor a little bit more. And sometimes we need to do that pass of awareness over the body a couple times, just to let go of tension where we can. With this increased awareness of a soft body and a moving breath, start to send your breath now deeply into the body. Descend it down towards your belly. And it might be helpful to actually place your hands on your belly to start to feel the very subtle movement of your belly as you breathe. So once again, you're not actually trying to make the breath do anything here. You're simply increasing awareness, sensation of breathing, and encouraging a fuller breath, a deeper breath. You can keep now one hand on your belly, either hand. Keep one hand on your belly. Take the other hand around behind you and rest that hand kind of around the low back, just about where that low back space curves in. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the low back, and continuing to breathe deeply, you'll feel these two spaces expand and softly contract as you breathe. Let's add a little bit of movement in here as we breathe. So as you feel your inhale breath, let your arms fan out to the sides. And then as you exhale, switch which hand is in front. So the other hand now will come in front, the other hand will go behind. And then again, inhale, let the arms go wide. And then exhale, let the hands come back. Again, switching which hand is in front and which hand is behind. So moving with your breath, inhale wide out to the side. And then exhale, let them come back, switching the hands. Let's keep going like this. Gentle, slow, graceful breathing. Just one more breath like this, so that as you inhale, the arms go wide. Keeping the arms wide, turn the palms up towards the ceiling and gently start to rotate the palms so the fingers point down. So I don't know if you can quite see from your camera, but your hands are extended out to the sides, palms facing up, and then you start to let the fingers go downwards towards the ground. And press through the base of your palm. So through the bottom part of your palm, you're going to reach out from there. And just feel a nice long stretch through the shoulders. You might feel it in the jaw. Good, through the fingers. And then curl the fingers in towards the palms. Bring those fists now in towards your shoulders. As you exhale, bring the elbows to touch in front. As you inhale, let the elbows go wide. And as you exhale, let the elbows come into touch. Inhale nice and wide. And then exhale. Good. Let's inhale now, the elbows nice and wide. Good. And then we'll fan the hands out over the elbows. And then from here, I'm going to ask us to rotate the shoulders so the fingers are now pointing straight forward, but the elbows are bent about 90 degrees. So you see that we go from this cactus shape with the arms and we pivot so our palms again are facing towards the ground. As you inhale, reach your right arm straight out in front of you. Then as you exhale, curl your fingers over your thumb and pull that elbow back. Inhale, now reach your left arm out in front of you. And as you exhale, curl your fingers over your thumb and pull the left elbow back. Let's keep breathing and moving like this. Inhale, right arm out. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, left arm out. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. So it sounds like this. Good, keep going. Strong breaths. Long reaching motions, strong pulling back of those elbows. Good. Three more. Each side. Last one each side. Good. Inhale, both arms forward. Big breath forward. Turn the palms up, curl the fingers in, slow exhale as the elbows come back. Once again, inhale, press the palms forward, big breath in, curl the fingers over the thumbs, pull the elbows back nice and slow. Inhale again, press those palms forward, reach them out, and then exhale, curl the fingers over the thumbs and pull those elbows back. Good, letting the arms now hang at your sides. You can give them a little shake, really release those shoulders. And let's get a bit of motion going on in the neck. So you're gonna turn your head towards your right, just as far as is comfortable, then bring it back into center and turn towards your left. Just a few times like this, checking out the motion in the neck. Again, moving only to where it feels okay for you. And then bringing the head back into center now, tilting your head towards your left. So your left ear is going to come towards your left shoulder. letting the arms hang at your sides. Now, of course, if there's any concern along the neck, any injury or osteoporosis, you can maintain this or keep the head straight up. If there's no injury or no concern there, you might take your left arm out to the left and rest it on top of your right ear, just adding a little bit of weight here. So you're not pulling on your head at all. You're just adding the weight of the hand. Ensure here you're still sitting up nice and tall through the spine, not starting to slouch back into the chair. Sit up nice and tall. Take a couple breaths just like this. Good. If your left hand is resting on your right ear, slowly, gently slide the left arm off. Bring your head back into center. And we'll come over to the other side. You're going to tilt your ear now towards your right shoulder. And then maybe that right arm comes up and over and rests onto the left ear. Maybe. Try not to pull on the head at all. Just rest the hand there. Full body breaths here. And then you're gently going to release that right hand if it was uplifted. Slowly bring your head back into center. And then let's give the shoulders a few rolls. So again, these rolls don't need to be very big. Whatever feels okay for your shoulders, but get a little motion going on in those shoulders. Once you've taken a few rolls in one direction, change directions, go the other way. Then take those shoulders up to the ears, draw them back slightly and let them slide down the back. Reaching your arms forward, now you're going to cup your kneecaps. And I'm going to suggest here you take a moment with your hands on your knees and just warm up those knees. Good. You might even warm up the front of the shins or the back of the thighs. If your legs are feeling a little stiff or cold this morning, this is a great way to start getting some blood flowing in the legs, using your hands to massage the muscles of the legs. If you're able to come to the toes, you might even warm up the feet a little bit. If that's not available, don't worry about it at all. Just let the hands warm up the legs wherever they can reach. And then making your way back up to sit nice and tall, cupping your kneecaps with your hands. And this typically extends the arms nice and straight. So if you notice that your arms aren't quite straight, try sitting up a little bit taller. So you're just holding on to the tops of the knees there with the hands. Good, and let's do a little motion for the spine. So as you inhale, gently draw the belly forward, lift your chin up, and then as you exhale, tuck your chin down and in and round your spine. Okay, let's go back and forth like this, inhaling up, looking up, and then exhaling, curling in. Now be mindful of the spine, your spine. If you have any injury there, any osteoporosis, maybe this motion isn't appropriate for you, and that's okay. Any little motion you can bring to your back will be helpful. So maybe for you, you just start to breathe deeper. You start to shift your rib cage a little bit side to side. But if it's available to you to arc and round your spine a few times, give that a try. After moving your spine back and forth like this, you can start to rotate the spine. So we'll move the rib cage around in a circle. And again, your circle can be really big, or maybe today it's just a tiny little circle, and that's okay too. Good. Once you've done a few circles in one direction, make sure to pause and then shift. Go back the other way. Same circle, just in the opposite direction. Okay, let your shoulders move, let your head and your neck move. It's nice to see such friendly faces. Good. Come on back to the center. Sit up nice and tall. Once again, let's let the arms hang at our sides. And then from here, before we move anywhere else, let's reconnect into that breath. Find that breath in the belly and see if you can start to deepen it now. So we are using a little bit of effort with the breathing as you start to take some deeper, fuller breaths in and out to the belly. Now, of course, if you start to feel short of breath at all, or there's any tension in your breathing, just let go of the effort of breathing. Let that natural breath come back in. Letting your arms hang at your sides, sitting tall. Let's start to march the legs in place. We're going to get a little motion going on in the hips. And remember, your legs don't have to lift very high. You might just lift them slightly off the floor. That's okay. A little bit of motion is what we're looking for. It doesn't have to be too big. But as you lift your legs here, see if you can lift them straight up and down. So there's not this kind of wobbly leg motion, but as best you can, lifting your knees straight up and down. Yeah. Some of us too, as we start to lift our legs, we wobble a little bit from side to side. See if you can keep your upper body pretty still as you move your legs. And now try moving the legs wider, marching them out wide out to the side. And then you can march them back in. And then march them nice and wide. And march them back in. And then nice and wide. Good. Let's keep the legs wide now. So marching them as wide as you comfortably can, letting your toes turn out slightly. From here, keep the spine straight and see if you can start to fold forward just a little bit. So this forward fold is going to happen with the hips. So we're not really letting the back round. See if you can keep your spine straight as you fold. Your hands might stay on your thighs. You might come down onto your elbows, keeping that long spine. Some of you might actually start to slide your hands down your legs and bring them towards your feet or onto the floor. But notice what's happening there in the low back. If that feels like a little much, just come back up onto your elbows. That's okay too. Good. Wherever you are now, you're breathing, feeling sturdy in the feet. Good. So whether you have your elbows on your thighs or your hands on the floor, that's perfectly fine. Stay like that. Simply take your right hand onto your right knee. So the left arm stays as it is, right hand on the right knee. You can start to turn your chest slightly towards the right. Again, be mindful of your back, your spine. Maybe for you, it feels better to stay forward. That's okay too, working in that forward fold. If you're coming into the twist, you might free up that right arm and extend it towards the sky. Maybe you look up towards the right hand. Maybe for your neck, that's not okay, so you look towards the ground. Take one more breath where you are. And then as you exhale, let that right arm come down. Maybe the right elbow rests on the knee or the hand comes to the floor. And we switch sides, taking the left hand up onto the left knee. Remember, your right elbow could be on your right thigh. If this is feeling a little much, to have the hand on the floor, lift up. Slowly turning your chest towards your left, looking either to the ground, to the side, or maybe you extend your left arm up and you look up towards your left fingertips. Good. One more breath, just as you are. And then you're going to slowly release that left arm down. Maybe elbow on the thigh, maybe hand to the floor. Good. Then from here, let's all take our hands up so our hands are resting on the thighs. Lift the gaze slightly and look forward. Good. You're welcome now to stay seated on your chair. So especially if you have any concerns with your knees or low back, stay as you are right here working this nice long spine. If the knees are feeling okay, I'm going to encourage you now to start to slide some weight off of the chair and onto your feet, lifting your hips just slightly from the chair. So we wake up those thigh muscles. Good. You might even engage the belly a little bit for some back support. Nice. And then let's walk the hands up the legs and slowly make your way up to stand. Beautiful. Hands can come onto the hips now. Turn your toes forward slightly. So keep the feet wide apart. Make sure you feel steady on your feet, and then you can slide your hips from side to side. Now that we're up off the chair, we can give the hips a little bit of motion. And now for some of you, you might not come off the chair today. You might stay seated. That's okay too. If you're sitting in the chair, try to move your upper body a little bit. Some of us, when we're standing, might circle from a standing position. Those of you who are seated might circle more from a seated position, okay? If you're circling, let's circle the other way. Good. And then let's bring the hips back into center. Take your time, walk your feet in so they're more below your hips. And we'll come together in our Tadasana, standing with the arms, palms open, feet on the floor, lifting the heart. If you feel steady here, you might close your eyes. Feeling once again the breath in the body. Maybe coming back to that scanning. Coming from the top of the head down and noticing where in your body you could let go of a little bit of tension. Just even the tiniest bit. See if you can soften. Good. Keeping both feet on the floor now. Let's take the right arm out to the right and up. Be aware of that right shoulder. If it's unhappy today or doesn't enjoy this lifting motion, your fingertips could come to your shoulder, or you might just keep your right arm at your side. From there, we're going to exhale and arc over to the left into our half moon. Good. Lengthening those breaths out. Feel your feet on the floor. Really start to press a little bit into your feet. Wake up the strength of your legs. If you're feeling okay here, you could take your left arm up, take a hold of your right wrist and add just a little bit more stretch. But try not to yank on your arm over. You're just adding a little bit of weight over. Pressing into both feet, let's rise back up into center and exhale the arms down. Good. Inhale now, let's take the left arm up. Comes all the way up if that's comfortable, or fingertips to the shoulder. And then exhale, we're gonna curve over towards the right. Remember, we're not in a rush anywhere. We're just breathing and feeling. Good. Then that bottom arm can come up. You can hold on to that wrist. Maybe for you today that just does not feel okay, then you don't have to do that variation. We each have our own variation, so do the one that feels best for you. And let's rise back up into center and release the arms down to the sides. Good. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Make sure to shake the legs out too, whether you're seated or standing. Give those legs a good shake. Shake the arms out, wiggle the hips. Good. And then for us who are standing, let's take the chair over to the right-hand side of the mat. So hopefully everybody's got a chair there. You're going to bring it over onto the right-hand side of your mat. If you don't have a mat, then don't worry about it. Just bring it to the right-hand side of you so that you have a little bit of support there. Your right hand can rest on the chair. We come back into our Tadasana. So feet firmly planted on the floor. Good. And then you're going to take the weight of your body and shift it into the leg closest to the chair. So that's our right leg. And press down into the right foot. Engage the strength up the right leg, lift the chest, stand nice and tall, and then maybe float your left heel from the floor. Some of you might lift your left toes as well, and maybe even start to lift the knee higher. Now from here, you might start to release a little bit of your grip on the chair. Maybe you just lighten the grip a little bit. Maybe you lift the hand. Maybe your arms come up overhead. Maybe today you keep your hand on the chair. That's good too. Wherever you are, feel your breath. Feel your foot on the floor. Feel the work, the effort, but also feel a little bit of ease. If your arms are lifted, let your arms come down, then place that left foot onto the floor. Take your chair, lift your chair up. Let's move it over to the other side. No rush to get there. Don't rush the chair around. Just take your time. Once you have your chair set up, you're going to come back into your Tadasana. Arms at your sides again. You can have your left hand on the chair. This time, the weight of your body is going to come into your left foot. Press down. Actively press into that left foot, but then lift up through the chest. Get nice and tall. Good. Maybe your right heel comes off the floor. Maybe your toes. Good. Maybe you lift the knee. Anywhere along there is perfect. Just stay where you are. Feel the steadiness. Feel the breath. And maybe your left arm comes up. Your right arm. Maybe your left arm lifts. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you keep your left hand on the chair. That's okay. Wherever you are is perfect for this moment. Be there, breathe there. Good. Then release your arms down. Let the leg come down, returning to your Tadasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Big breath out the mouth. Let's actually do that together. Take a big breath in, lift the arms up, and then let it all go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale. Big exhale. Good. All right, let's take the chair now back to the back of the mat. And for today, we're actually going to have our Savasana on the chair. We're not quite there yet, but make your way back down onto the chair as we'll prepare for Savasana. As I start to get better, these condensed half-hour classes, we'll have time for a Savasana on the floor for those who would like it. But for today, we're going to come to the chair. So just to help close down the practice, keep your feet flat on the floor as they are facing forward. But take your left hand across to your right thigh. Bring your right hand around behind you. You could hold on to the chair or onto your hip. And simply start to twist your upper body around to look towards your right. I'll encourage you now to close your eyes and come back into that belly breath, the breath in the front and the back of the body. Good, then inhale back into center. And let's go the other side. Take your right hand across to your left leg, your left hand around behind you. And once you're in your twist, close the eyes again, feel and breathe. Beautiful. As you inhale, return to center, resting the hands onto the thighs. Gently slide yourself to the back of your chair. So now your spine can rest onto the back of the chair. If you're maybe built a little more like me and the legs are a bit shorter and you can't quite touch the floor with your feet, if you have a yogic block, you can always place your feet up on a block. A nice thick book works as well. Make sure that you're seated so that your back is against the back of the chair. Your feet are on a firm support. And then you can turn your palms up or down onto your thighs, leaning into the back of the chair, closing your eyes. Once again, if you're feeling more comfortable to have your eyes open, that's absolutely okay. If your eyes are open though, let them go really soft. So soft that you don't really notice what's in front of them. And if your eyes are closed, allow the eyes to go heavy. Let your legs soften. They might even flop open slightly. Release the effort of breathing. Stay present in your body, in your breath, for just a few moments as we rest. Slowly, gently start to deepen your breathing just a little bit. Allow your fingers to wiggle, maybe your toes. You can stay seated as you are, letting your back continue to rest against the back of the chair. And if you're enjoying this quiet time for yourself, you're welcome to stay. Those of you who want to join me in closing this practice together, you'll lift your hands up in front of the heart, pressing the palms to touch. And then lifting those hands in prayer position up towards the forehead, may you think kind thoughts. Letting those hands float down to rest the thumbs against the lips. May you speak kind words. And taking those hands down so the thumbs rest back against the heart. May you feel and experience kindness. Thank you all so much for joining in our very first live seniors yoga class, of which I hope there are many, many more. And we'll learn as we go. They'll get better, I'm sure. But I'm so glad you joined, and it felt so good to see you. So take care all. Stay in touch. If you had any challenges with today's class, please email me at info@sacredelders.com. Namaste.